So, Second Kings chapter 5. It's all about Naaman, leprosy healed. And said, now Naaman, commander of the army of the king of Syria, was a great and honorable man in the eyes of his master, because by him the Lord had given victory to Syria. He was also a mighty man of valor, but a leper, and the Syrians had gone out on raids and had brought back captive a young girl from the land of Israel. She waited on Naaman's wife. Then she said to her mistress, if only my master were with the prophet who is in Samaria, for he would heal him of leprosy. Later on we'll read more about servants, but we see here, imagine being taken captive, and you're still got a heart to serve people. We'll see the way she served is going to end up making her master be healed. It's important that we treat our bosses with how God would want us to treat our bosses. And not only that, it's about what she knows. Because it's not just about she served, it's the fact that she knew about her God. She knew that if her master was able to go to the prophet, that he would be healed. And eventually this is what happened. So it's important we see. But later on we'll see another servant is key, because when he does go to Elisha, so it says here, then he brought the letter to the king of Israel. Then the king of Syria said, go now, and I will send a letter to the king of Israel. So he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver, 6,000 shekels of gold, and 10 changes of clothes. Then he brought the letter to the king of Israel, which said, now be advised, when this letter comes to you, that I have sent Naaman my servant to you, that you may heal him of his leprosy. And it happened, when the king of Israel read the letter, that he tore his clothes and said, am I God to kill and make alive, that this man sends a man to me to heal him of his leprosy? So why is this king, what's his name, Jehoram getting so annoyed? Like, this person is paranoid. Like, these kings, he's thinking that, oh, the Syrian people are coming like to try and trick him, and they want to fight and bring war, when really it's just because they know about the God that is in his country. They know about the God that his prophet is serving. So this is all they're coming. They want to inquire about Elisha and his God. But Jehoram gets worried and he's panicking, thinking why they want to come. But then luckily Elisha hears about this, and Elisha sent a messenger to him saying, Elisha sent to the man of that the king of Israel had torn his clothes, that he sent to the king saying, why have you torn your clothes? So, and even sometimes God will interrupt the order. Before, kings was all about the kings, then it became about the prophets, then some mix about the prophets and kings, in order for us to know how to behave. Because even this Jehoram, one time I thought, oh, it's the Jehoram from Judah, but there's actually two Jehorams in the same time, one son of Jehoshaphat and one the other son of. So we see, when Naaman does come, then Naaman went with his horses and chariot, and he stood at the door of Elisha's house. And Elisha sent a messenger to him, saying, go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and your flesh shall be restored to you, and you shall be clean. But Naaman became furious and went away and said, indeed, I said to myself, he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God, and wave his hand over the place and heal the leprosy. So you see, Naaman's furious because he's thinking, Elisha's not coming to him, and he's thinking mighty things have to happen, when Elisha's just saying, go wash in the Jordan. But this man's saying, oh, surely I could have stayed where I was. Could I not wash in them and be clean? Are not the Abana and the Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all these waters? So sometimes we can block our whole healing and our whole, in the previous one, when we're talking about the vessels and they were empty and she had to fill. Sometimes we need to be empty. It's because of what we have inside us that we can't be used by God, or we can't be filled by God. So this same Naaman, he's filled with his own ideas of what should happen for how to get his healing. He wants mighty things. He's expecting mad things, like miraculous things, and things that might be costly, and so much he was expecting, when it was just a simple thing. Sometimes we forget it's a simple thing that the Lord wants us to do, the simple thing. Some people are having some big questions of, if there's a Lord, if there's a God, why doesn't he kill all bad things? Why does he allow all evil things? But yet they forget, and why people suffering. So they want these big answers, but they forget the simple answers. Well, technically, what about the little things, the little evil you're doing? If you want him to wipe out all evil, what about the little lies and the little things you're doing? He would have to wipe you out as well. So people always want to focus on big things. They forget about the simple things. It's talking about people suffering and why this, why that. But did God tell people to sleep with this other person and now you're suffering? Did God tell you to do what you did and now you're suffering? Or was it a simple instruction that he gave us? honor our parents. Simple instruction, honor the Lord our God and have no other gods before him. A simple instruction not to lie. Simple instruction not to steal. But people want to focus on big things. Big things. We're here, even Naaman, the simple instruction is go wash yourself in the Jordan 7 times and you will be healed. But Naaman didn't want it to listen. But luckily, again, who do we have around us? Because it's a servant here that's going to say to him, what if we did tell you to do a big thing? You would have done it. So why would you not do the simple thing? So because he reasoned with him and he thought, actually, yeah, let me go do the simple thing. And then he did it. And he was healed. So we're seeing again the account of 2 servants. One was the girl that was captive. She knew about Elisha and made her master know about him. So he went there. Now he was going to walk away. His servant again say, no, do the simple thing. And then he's healed. And because of this, he's going to stop worshipping pagan gods that we'll read in a second. And he's going to worship the one true God. So the way we serve and what we know and being bold with it can so we can provide healing with what we know about our God and what we're willing to share to others and willing to stop them in their rage and tell them, actually, just take time, listen, because it's a simple instruction. You can do it. So then we see later on, actually, so he's healed, but then we see Elisha's servant now. So we're seeing the difference between some servants, some are being used for good. Now Elisha's servant, he's going to do something greedy and bad. So Elisha didn't ask for no money. Naaman as well, he was worried actually. He went back and he's going to serve. So we see here, it says, Naaman said, God, and he returned to the man of God and he and all his aides and came and stood before him, and he said, indeed, now I know that there is no God in all the earth except in Israel. Now therefore please take a gift from your servant. But he said, as the Lord lives, before whom I stand, I will receive nothing. Then he also had a problem, saying, yet in this may the Lord. So he said, then if not, please let your servant be given 2 moles of earth, for your servant will no longer offer either burnt offerings or sacrifice to other gods but to the Lord. Yet in this thing may the Lord pardon your servant when my master goes into the temple of Rimmon. So he knows when he goes back, remember he's from Syria, isn't it? And when he goes back, he's still worried that he will have to take his master to serve other gods. But Elisha's saying it's okay, peace be. Whereas then he said to him, go in peace, because he knows the Lord knows our hearts. So sometimes you might be serving a wicked boss, or you might be following people and their hearts are doing things not of God, but God knows your heart. He knows what you are trying to do. But then we see later on, Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, look at my master, spared Naaman the Syrian, while not receiving nothing. So he goes and takes things from Naaman. He wants to receive money. And then Elisha somehow knows about this. So this is the thing about either the gift of prophecy or just being a prophet. It doesn't tell us actually how he knows, but it said now he went in and stood before his master. Elisha said to him, where did you go? It reminds me of Adam and Eve, where God is asking, where did you go? And then he lies. He said, your servant did not go anywhere. But Elisha knows. He said, did not my heart go with you, that when the man turned back from his chariot to meet you, is this time to receive money? So he knows what's happened. And because of this greed, he takes, therefore the leprosy of Naaman shall cling unto you. So remember, these times, leprosy is not how we think of it now, but these times there, leprosy was sin. Leprosy was something that you'd be able to see at a disobedience in God. So lepers were people that were disobedient and they'll be cast out from the community, and he gets cursed forever. But later on we'll see actually, does he actually get cursed forever? Because some people talk about generational curses and things like that, because it says here, your descendants forever, and he went out from his presence. But later on we're going to see that still he is going to talk to kings. So if he was cursed out forever, how was he still talking to kings? Or did God forgive him? And there's other things that we will read about and see. But the thing is, we need to be careful how we are serving. Maybe started off good, but now he's thinking about money. We need to keep our eyes pure on